Hey, it's Gabriela Batista from Homes into Reality, and this is Toronto Real Estate by the numbers for September 2022. This is the video we do every single month, breaking down different types of real estate in your home city of Toronto. As always, we're going to start by breaking down the numbers for each type of property, the average selling price. For detached homes, you're at 1.585 million. For semis, you're at 1.210 million. For townhouses, we're just above 831,000. And for condos, we're at 769,000. Now, how do these numbers compare when it comes to year over year? For detached homes, you're down 10.8%. For semis, you're down 7.2%, same as last month. And townhouses, you're just barely down year over year at 0.6%. And condos are the only actual property that's up year over year, and it's up 3.3%. When we look at these numbers, it's the first month in about 3 months where we're actually seeing a consistent year over year decline for both detached and semi-detached homes. In months past, either one or the other was down significantly, the other one was not. But this time it shows a much better picture of where the market has been going. We're going to see kind of more of the same of this over the next few months, just because kind of September, November, October, those were the starting months of a really sharp incline when we saw it in January, February, March, where prices really, they were rising up. So the year over year numbers are going to be staggering because that's when the prices were at their peak when it comes to detached and semi-detached homes. Townhouses, it's the first time where they've actually gone down year over year. They've always been slightly up year over year when it came to townhouses. Even though townhouses month over month went up slightly, it's the first time that they've actually went down year over year, not by a huge chunk, but definitely by a small margin. Condos, it shows how resilient they've really been. I'm looking at a graph over here right now. They've been resilient pretty much all year price-wise. They've always been somewhat up year over year. It's a good sign for condo buyers at the entry-level price point. But it's definitely interesting to see that condos have been the most resilient category when it comes to Toronto real estate. Now, let's look at the month-over-month numbers. I mentioned it really briefly before. Detached homes are down 3.8%. Semi-detached homes are actually up 7.38%. We're going to get to that a little bit later on why that is. Townhouses are up 1.57%, and condos are up 4.36%. So the big number we're looking at is the semi-detached homes. I'm not looking at this any significant way in terms of prices are up month over month. Last month, they were down by a big chunk, semi-detached homes. This is, again, like similar to last month, a little bit of an in-between when it comes to home prices. It's kind of evening out. You'll remember that semis are still down 7.2% year over year. So prices last year where semis have been going up, and prices, maybe they went up to the same level, but they're not exactly, it's not a high appreciation asset compared to last year. We're still down 7%. With townhouses, funny enough, they went up 1.7%, but year over year, they're still down. A lot of that has to do because townhouses were appreciating much faster this time last year versus right now. So we're still down year over year townhouses, but they're slightly up. Again, entry-level price point, still a little bit more attractive than your detached and your semi-detached homes. Condos, they're up 4.36%. And I'll be honest, it's a pretty interesting number. They've been strong, like I mentioned before, throughout. And as all assets are kind of going down, it's the one asset that consistently shows to be outperforming other ones and seems to be the least risky asset when I'm looking at all these different assets. And I hate to be a broken record at this point, but when it comes to new listings and active listings, we have the exact same numbers as last month. The numbers have actually changed in terms of different listings, but your new listings are down 10% once again, same as last month, and your active listings are up 25%, same as last month, exact same percentages. Again, it's showing a trend where listings are not as plentiful coming new to the market, but the active listings are coming on market. So the number of listings that are consistently on the market goes up, yet new listings are down. So properties aren't selling as quickly. They're staying on the market longer, which brings up the inventory number. It's happening slowly but surely, but it's definitely at this point a trend. They say it happens once or twice, it's a coincidence. At this point, it's been multiple months in a row. It's a trend where inventory is piling up while new listings are coming low. Imagine what would happen if new listings were up. If new listings are up, active listings would be skyrocketing at this point. But because people are still hesitant about the market and putting their property in the market, then active listings still stays at 25% higher than last year. We're also at the point right now where we no longer look at the old summer slow months. We're now into a typical fall market months where the market picks up again. So a lot of people, will talk about, it's usually a slow summer. And it is a slow summer, but it's obviously we're seeing signs that it's a much slower than usual summer, fall, and spring overall. So it's something to consider that it may not just be a seasonal thing. It may be something a little bit more long-term when it comes to seasonal real estate numbers. And lastly, the big number that we always look at is your sold numbers. The change from last year is down 49% sold numbers. So like I said before, it's no longer seasonal. September's a fall market. Just under half as many properties sold as last year. So for every 2 houses that sold last year, 1 sold this year in September. So it's down a big chunk. Spending on average 22 days on market instead of 16 compared to last year. So it's definitely a slower fall market. It's either that people can say it's delayed or just it's not as active as people expected it to be. I know a lot of people were anticipating when people thought rates would steady down in this last month in September that people would pick up, start buying properties. And maybe in some cases it has, but these numbers definitely are not showing that in any case. So to sum it all up, really, the important thing to look at, I mentioned a couple of times already, is we're no longer in a summer market that's slow. We can no longer use the excuse that, real estate's always slow in summer. It's going to pick up in the fall. And a lot of people were talking about how they anticipate real estate to really pick up in the fall. People thought the last interest rate hike would be the last one. We don't know what's going to happen in the next interest rate announcement. But at this point, we got to make sure that we look at the trends. These are no longer coincidences. They're much more of a trend. With the video, I probably will pop up here and there a bunch of charts of what's going on real estate wise, because these numbers are so interesting and so curious to look at, because especially for someone as a first time buyer looking at these trends, they want to know, oh, Gabe, can we time the market? While I don't believe timing the market is something you can do, these trends definitely will give you a sense of where the market is for a first time buyer, for a condo, for a townhouse. And for people maybe who are investing in a detached home or moving down or up to a detached home, they'll be able to see this is kind of where the prices have been at. We have enough information this year to make good decisions on whether buying makes sense for you right now. So that's what my gut is telling me with all this information. It's been very useful talking to clients about this type of information. If you're in a situation where you don't know if you want to buy, sell, if you're still leasing, you want to make that first move, whatever that may be, the most important thing we can do at this point in time is talk about these numbers for your situation. Either if it's a condo, if it's a townhouse, let's break it down specifically and see what your affordability can get you and what that value really is in this type of market. Because it's, as long as we educate ourselves with the numbers, you're always going to make a good decision on what you can do. Anyways, that's the summed up version of Real Estate by the Numbers for September this month. I look forward to next month and breaking down numbers more in depth. You'll see somewhere over here or here, sign up to Future Homeowners. It's a first-time buyer group that we have where anyone who's looking to be a first-time buyer, we're going to send out information just like this every single week to get you as much caught up with when it comes to becoming a first-time buyer. We want to educate you so when you're ready to make a move, if that's tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, next 5 years, we want to educate you and have you ready. So when you're ready to go out, start seeing some properties, I put you in a good spot so you can buy an awesome property and make that first home your best home. Anyways, Gabriela Batista, Homes into Reality, thank you so much for watching and stay productive as always, and happy October. Take care. Bye.